should pop out and
Yo, 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 yo. What's good, everybody?
like
It's gonna
that.
be a late night stream tonight, y'all, but we're chilling.
As you can see,
We're just gonna, do some run. This is probably gonna be a nice long stream because I'm not really doing much. It's gonna be some nice chill gaming. I am currently sorting files for my next couple videos, so give me like 2 minutes and I'll get this done. We're gonna get right into this. So let me go ahead and finish this. Got some nice content coming out for y'all.
with it still inside this orange cover right here, and we're gonna slide it in through the top into here like that. Make sure
Guys, don't worry about what I'm watching in the background.
Move this, it's gonna stay in place, and then now I'm gonna go ahead and make sure that looks like it's, yep, we can see these little orange tabs here that are pressing into the black socket, so that tells me that this is lined up correctly. So I'm gonna go ahead, bring this down, push down the bracket, and then like what the instructions say, I'm gonna go ahead and close this in the order of 1, 2, and then 3. There we go. I'm gonna go ahead and screw this in. That is 1, here is 2, and I'm screwing these in moderately, but I'm getting these fairly tight. There we go, 2, and then 3. And let's just make sure I got it all. Yep, 1 is in, 2 is in, and so is 3. Alright, now before we continue, I would like to say with any Threadripper CPU, or even any high-end Ryzen 9 or Intel Core Ultra 9 CPU, none of them will come with their own cooler, so you'll need to get your own. But this is the one situation where I'd say it's imperative that you go with a high-end water cooler, especially if you go with a Threadripper CPU, because if you're getting one of these CPUs, you're going to be doing a lot of CPU-intensive applications and rendering. So you're going to need something that's going to cool off this Threadripper CPU while it's running at 100% load for extended durations of time. So I have got this no-name Silverstone water cooler. I'll make sure to link one in the PC build.gg link that is compatible with Threadripper CPUs, and that will have the performance and cooling capabilities to monitor these chips under full load. But otherwise, I'm unsure if I can link this one in PC build.gg. We'll see, but I'm going to worry about this later because I was given this bracket right here in the Threadripper box, and I don't quite know if we're going to be dealing with this yet, but I'll have a better idea once I get around to installing the cooler to know if we'll actually need this or not. But otherwise, let's go ahead and talk about the memory and storage, which for the RAM, let me tell you, we have been given the goods from G-Skill. Look at this presentation. You can tell this is serious because there's no heat spreaders on these RAM sticks, because each of them are 32 gigabytes in size, totaling this to 128 gigabytes of RAM. Get this, running at a speed of 6,400 megahertz with a cache latency of 32. I think for a quad channel kit of DDR5 memory running on Threadripper, that speed and cache latency on paper sounds genuinely impressive. Because I remember the quad channel expo issues that we ran into with Ryzen 7000 and even the older Intel higher end chips, but to see Threadripper potentially alleviating this issue is really cool to see. So all these sticks of RAM are probably low-key expensive, so I'm going to kind of put them right there for now. But now a whole nother topic we need to talk about is storage, and this is going to be dependent on what you're eventually going to be doing with this workstation PC, because again, being a custom PC build, you can customize this however you want. So for storage, this is just merely a template, but I'm going with a 1 terabyte PCI Gen 5.0 SSD from Crucial as our boot drive. So Windows and our applications we're going to be frequently using a lot on this PC are going to be seated on this small 1 terabyte PCI Gen 5.0 drive that's going to be very fast and quick to access. But to pair with it, for all of our large work projects, renders, and so on and so forth, you can go with hard drives, you can go with SATA SSDs, but I've got this 4 terabyte Acer FA200 that is PCI Gen 4.0, not 5.0, but it does have 4 terabytes of M.2 storage. So this is going to provide a lot of fast storage for our renders, any large video files. Either way, this is just a template, and what I've got in PCBuilds.gg is just a recommendation, but ultimately you can play around with the storage and the RAM amounts however you want with this PC. Alright, let's go ahead and take our RAM kits and put them inside the motherboard. Now, we've got 4 sticks of RAM and only 4 DIMM slots on this motherboard, so this is going to be incredibly easy. Although I think I have seen some Threadripper motherboards with 8 DIMM slots and they have 4 sticks. There may be a certain order you'll have to follow, but I'm pretty sure that order is going to be shown on the motherboard itself as it does with your lower end desktop models. So I'm pretty sure pushes down, and then I'm going to pull
Alright, let's
this
get it,
back
guys.
so that it stays in place. And then I'm just going to go
Do a
ahead and
stream
simply screw back
on
on
the
the
Avengers
M.2
game.
heatsink.
I know this
Right
game's
there
pretty
is
old,
our
but I still
M.2
play it. I
SSD
still find some
totally in there,
enjoyment
but
in it.
we've got this second one, which I'm also going to show you how to insert on this motherboard. So it's going to go right here
I
where
gotta
this
complete
other
Warzone.
Avengers M.2 SSD connections are. I'm going to leave on this right here. I'm not going to peel that off because we'll leave that for later when we
Hopefully
install
that's
our
what they
power
mean by it.
cables for
I'm
our
not sure.
CPU. And there you go. We've got access to 2 more M.2 SSD slots. Now, I think both of these are the same
Guys, I'm
speed.
not.
Both of
I
them are
believe
going to be
my setup just got like a
100%
lot more
motherboard
vibrant.
This
Not
top
gonna lie.
one and this bottom one are 5.0 but an X4 speed, and that's totally fine because we're using a 4.0 SSD. There's going to be no compatibility issues. But once again, look at the little notch there on the M.2 connector and
I
line
had
this to the
some
top.
old
Make
lights
sure
up
this goes
there,
in the right
and I'm
way.
gonna get some RGB strips
We've
and probably
identified
some
an
chrome
AIM
panels
facility
too.
that is vulnerable to attack. Though there are still security synthoids to contend with, we expect the Avengers should be able to easily prevail. Take out any AIM forces.
This state the state, but we're going to make sure we take off the plastic protective seal and get both the M.2 heatsink and the both underneath the M.2
Head for
SSD
the location on your HUD.
that I think that's going to mostly go in. And with this M.2 heatsink, what I'm doing is I'm doing this
And
crisscross
skill
formation
spin. Alright,
just
I
to make
have
sure I
points
screw in each
spin,
screw one at a
heavy
time. So
attack.
that way this applies equal pressure, but also just to make sure that this M.2 heatsink is aligned properly. So I'm not screwing in one side completely. It could put this off balance. There we go. Got that on there. Our SSDs, our RAM, and our CPU is in. So far, everything should look like this. And now I think we're going to go ahead and put this inside the PC case. So for the case, I'm going to be putting all this into is going to be the new Lee & Lee 217. And I think this is a great case choice for any of you who want to build a workstation PC because the 217 is one of the best cooling performing cases on the market, and it's going to be big enough to support this wider motherboard on top of a larger graphics card, the larger water cooler, and
let's have some fun, yeah?
storage options.
High resolution. So
You
I
really brought
need
this on
to
yourself.
actually like oh my. want to find the perfect suit to wear. I don't know which one I
But
should
I've
put
dealt
on.
with other wood PC cases in the past, and I'm
This
not
one's
sure.
pretty cool.
This could be real.
Oh, they have the negative
on
zone. That's
that,
from
but
the
this is
actual
probably the
Spider-Man
best
game.
wood I've seen on a PC case, which I think would fit well in a more professional setup with a wooden desk or in like a wooden brick area. But if we look inside the PC case, we've got some stuff we're going to need to take out of it first and foremost. So if we come around here, we'll see this big box that came with the PC case, which includes this little toolkit full of screws and everything we'll need to mount whatever we want inside this PC case. Some 3.25-inch hard drive bays.
So I like this
Those
one
are going
better.
to want to fit lots of storage inside this PC case.
Oh yeah, we got a lot of people to fight.
And a second one, so I think you can fit
These enemies must be defeated.
Let's do it.
I think for 2025, yeah, if you need a hard drive,
Bad about this. And it's gone. Sorry, that hurt?
You want to see all my weapons? Okay!
Jump. I definitely jumped over that, but I guess.
Thor is down! I'm in some trouble here!
Like rats, sure.
Give me a hand!
Got your back.
That's
Thanks
crazy.
much.
Okay, come on now.
Help! Help, please!
On your feet!
Guys, help.
Totally had it covered.
Nice work, Avengers. This won't be the last time we mount an assault on AIM's forces, but this should significantly weaken their capabilities.
Need to make sure water cooler supports third-per CPUs, which, again, what I've got linked in PCBuild.gg will work with this third-per system, but I've never seen a CPU cooler quite like this with as big of a content plate like this. I'm gonna put this on top for now, and I want to say it looks like we weren't provided our own thermal paste, so this might be one of the first builds ever where I have to intentionally recommend thermal paste. So I'm just gonna use this Noctua stuff. We'll see how it does, but either way, I'm gonna go ahead and follow the provided instructions that were given on this little quick start guide here with the Silverstone AIO. I'm gonna go ahead and follow this mounting process that is here in the manual. I'll show you guys a brief montage of what that looks like and how I'm installing it onto this third-per CPU. But I would go ahead and take this step by step. Definitely do follow the instructions. This should be pretty straightforward. And as always, you're gonna be mounting this water cooler to the top of your PC case 9 out of 10 times. So I'll go ahead and catch up with you guys later and finish off with installing this cooler into the case.
SHIELD intercepted a somewhat bizarre exchange on an old AIM frequency.
But I'm not actually going to apply the contact plate to the CPU quite yet because I want to make sure that our CPU power cables here clear the radiator. You can see where my index finger is. I want to make sure there's room because I might need to take off the radiator, insert that power cable here and here for our CPU, but we'll see when the time comes.
We need to find out who these Woken are and what their prototype device does.
And let us not forget the one impersonating me. Poorly.
I thought they were rather accurate.
They were not.
So you're not flattered?
The message originated from this forest. Records show there's a decommissioned AIM base here.
And yet the buildings remain.
That's not AIM protocol. They'd usually strip it clean.
The mystery deepens.
In this case, which I wouldn't otherwise say for gaming. But that said, 1350 watts is going to be a lot for this system. I mean, the minimum power supply you'd need for an RTX 5090 is 1000 watts, and we're 350 watts above that. So we are definitely going to be covered with this power supply unit. I just hope that this fits our PC case, because there's a chance that it might not. Because the way the Landcool 217 mounts power supplies inside of here is different. But let me just see, will this fit? Actually, let me go ahead and take off this bottom panel here, show you guys what's up. That's how you access your power supply. Oh, actually, I lied. It's over here. Now, you may be asking, what's up with the power supply orientation? Because
Expect AIM never left this place.
I'm not so sure. This doesn't feel like their MO. Either way, let's get to where that call came from.
120mm fans that are going to be pressing fresh air into your graphics card, and you need this right here to allow for fresh air to reach your graphics card. So that's why the power supply is all the way over here, and then has nothing. With the looks of it, I think this is going to work.
What is that?
A twisted monument dedicated to me and the path home. Whatever that may be.
Okay, let's check it out. Carefully.
Whatever power supply I've got linked in the PCBuild.gg link is going to be enough for a Threadripper or high-end system, and have plenty of
Looks like it. Jarvis?
I'll scan the monument and get answers.
Can't defeat them unless you attack. But I can't hear my attack about how to control it. I can't get any interest from these guys unless I attack them.
transmitter.
Which is why we read it as the source of the call.
Indeed. It's linked to a nearby structure that just started emitting.
Yeah.
So to reiterate, this is all we need.
Yo.
What's good?
Yo. I want to understand how you're playing a game when it's not even out yet.
What do you mean?
How are you playing Marvel's Avengers?
This game has been out for like 5 years.
I can't get it.
Yeah, it's probably not for purchase anymore.
Either they're part of AIM or some kind of radical offshoot.
Oh, for real?
It was a major flop as a game, but I still enjoy it.
Why are you playing it now?
I still enjoy it, and I never I had it on my like when I first got my PS5, and I never finished the story, so I was going over it, playing it again. Actually, finished.
Yeah, this was 5 years ago. How much 26 cost?
It's not on sale yet. It's still like 100. It's like 70.
Ooh.
I got mine. My version was $100, but the base is still 70. I think I haven't checked.
The base is 49. That's pretty good. I might get it. Did I?
And if you really want to.
I can get it, and I can get PlayStation Plus. Cause I'm gonna get paid. If I get, you know, 26 and PlayStation Plus, and you put me on it. Huh? If I get 2K26 NBA, and I get PlayStation Plus, will you play with me on it?
Sure. I mean, it's sort of like the main game I play. So.
I mean, I'm not bad at the game. You know?
You haven't really played 2K like that.
Yeah. Well, when I was at your house, I was like still learning, and I was kind of cooking. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, but that wasn't online. That was
2v2s were like.
Yeah, that's offline timing. So, like when I play online. So it's online's a whole different thing.
So it's like more like way more competitive. Yeah.
Way more competitive. You would look to me. You're the person who would like look like they want to play more like My Career, but like even then, the My Career is pretty fun too. This year specifically, they made it. But,
I mean, I usually play like My Career stuff because I like.
Are you talking about like the My? Because My Career is also the online. So you talking about My Career online or My Career NBA?
My Career like NBA.
Yeah.
Cause you know you can make your own character. Like
Mm-hmm.
I like My Career.
You could always make your own character.
Yeah. That's like the only reason why I play college football. I only play My Career on college football because I made like an OP character. So that's like the only reason why. I'm gonna hop on Fortnite see what the item looks like because. But yeah, I'm gonna just buy stuff that I need. I'll get like something in skate maybe or something, or no. I'm gonna get a phone mic and the 2K26 stuff.
Yes.
Ooh, Jason Voorhees. Don't mind if there's like somebody in the background and he sounds like really young. That's my friend. He hasn't gone through puberty yet. I low-key liked it. Maybe like Smile looks tough. Are you gonna watch Black Phone 2?
No, I'm not really into horror movies like that. No, no.
It's not really a horror movie. It's kind of just like a. I don't know. It's not like really like a horror movie.
More of like a thriller.
Yeah.
I mean, it's less of a horror movie now, probably, than the other one.
Well, the first one was definitely like, it was not a horror movie. The first one was not a horror movie. The second one, I could see it being like a little bit of a horror movie because the gore in it, but like not like a lot. It was like a horror movie. Like, if we're talking about horror movies, then we're talking about like, that like timer thing where people had like the phones and there was like, when that timer ended, they would die, like that, and Pennywise, you know what I'm saying? A lot of jump scares, you know what I'm saying? Like, those are, like, good horror movies, like, classics, you know? But, like, if you want to clarify something as a horror movie, it has to at least have, like, a, you know, a jump scare, too. Well, just a jump scare, at least. It can't be called a jump scare, right? I'm gonna go play with my friends. I'll join back when I'm done, okay?
What game are y'all playing?
Probably like Roblox or something, cause that's the only game they play. But yeah, I'll see you later.
Yeah, I'm gonna probably do like a pretty long stream tonight, cause like, I was up till like 4 o'clock last night. Just like I was editing videos good enough tonight. So.
All right, well, I'll see you later.
All right, bro.
It really doesn't matter which one we plug this into, as long as it's not one of the CPU fan headers. So I'm just gonna go ahead and plug this in one way, and there we go, got that done. Now while we're here, let's go ahead and plug in our connectors. It's gonna go here on the bottom left of the motherboard. It'll always go here, no matter the location. And then if we go over here, we have our USB Type-C header, which, if you're wondering, go right there, or right here more specifically. But if you're wondering where I'm finding all the locations for these individual ports from the motherboard, again, check out that quick start guide for the motherboard. There shows you all the locations of each of these individual I/O connectors, just so you know where to find these and locate them on the motherboard. Now, like I mentioned when we first installed the motherboard to the PC case, we've got our USB 3.0 header that is unfortunately blocked by this handy GPU side bracket. So if you had any other PC case or any other motherboard form factor that wasn't CEB, then you would just be able to go ahead and plug in your USB 3.0 cable into here. But we can't, so unfortunately we're going to leave it for this PC build guide, but whatever I'm linking that PC build that you link will have a PC case that is absolutely compatible with Threadripper motherboards like this Asus one, so you should be able to plug this in on a different PC case. Here's our final front panel connector, which is just this all-in-one connector that controls the power button and so on and so forth. This is going to go on the bottom right of the motherboard next to these fan headers. No matter the brand of motherboard, this is universally always going to be the same spot, and it's going to be the same in layout. There we go. Now the last thing we need to take care of is plugging in our CPU cooler into the motherboard. As you can see, we have like 4 cables stemming from our water cooler. And one of these, this longer one, is our pump cable, but these 3 shorter cables are our 3 fans that are on our 360mm AIO. Now, we don't have enough ports to put all 3 of these onto the motherboard with enough space, so what was included in that silicone cooler, and should be with pretty much any sort of CPU cooler you go with, should be this 3-in-1 adapter, which lets you plug in both 1, 2, and 3 fan headers at the same time, going into a singular connector, which we're going to put right over here where our CPU fan header cable should be, where the top left of the motherboard is. And then here is our pump cable, the one that's coming from the front. We're going to also plug this into a fan header, but it's going to be labeled as CPU optional, meaning optional, and that's basically the keyword for use this for this. We're going to thread this one right here as well. So right there are 2 CPU fan headers. One of them is going to be for the actual CPU fans, and the other one is going to be for our pump. Now here is the cable for our 3-in-1 fan adapter. Plug this in where it says CPU. Now again, this will only go in one way. You're going to line up 2 little inserts here. There we go. So those are our 3 fans connected into CPU fans. And then here is just our pump header. This is going to go where it says CPU opt. It's only going to take up 3 pins, but you'll know which 3 pins to use because again, you're going to line it up correctly. And there we go. And finally, we get to the best part of any PC build, and that is the graphics card. Although for this system, I feel like the main focus is the Threadripper CPUs. You're probably going to be using those a lot more for your productivity workloads and put in research and applications, but the graphics card choice still matters, and that is to say, you can use any graphics card you want. Hooray! I mean, I would assume if you're building a workstation PC, you already know what kind of GPU you're going to be using in mind. It may not even be like a desktop NVIDIA GPU. It could be a professional workstation GPU from their Pro lineup that is significantly more expensive expensive than even a 5090 here. But once again, that is to say, given the size of power supply that is in this build, you're able to use any singular GPU you want for this sort of DIY workstation build. Now, if you wanted to go crazier than this and throw in 2 graphics cards, this power supply could still support it because it does have 2 12-volt power connectors on the power supply itself. But if you're just using one, you're gonna be fine. Now, I do have a box of a 5090 here, and I'll even show you B-roll of one, because you could absolutely use a 5090 with this build. I just don't want to pull it out of the system that it's currently in. So, we have this very modest, smaller RTX 5000 GPU that we'll be using in place. But I mean, again, the focal point of this build is AMD Threadripper, or really that high-end CPU you choose. But again, that is to say, you can go with whatever graphics card you want, but what I'll have in the PC build probably either a 5080 or a 5090, because more VRAM is always better than any graphics card in those workload applications that are really demanding of a lot of processing. But you came here to see how I would install it inside this PC case, which is what I'm going to go ahead and quickly show you. So this graphics card is a 2-slotter, and if you look right here, here's our topmost PCI slot. That's where we're going to be installing our graphics card, and it is going to be occupying these top PCI. Alright, so go ahead and take your graphics card, take off the PCI extract protective cover, and then we're just going to go ahead and insert this pretty casual to this topmost slot. There we go. That's going to insert pretty easily. Guys, once you think it's going to go in, give it a firm press and it should click in. Like that. And then let's go ahead and screw it back in. And I will say, if you go with one of those really big 5090 or 5080 graphics cards, again, you do have a sag bracket here you're probably going to want to use. Most large PC cases like the Landcool 217 and maybe even the other one that I'll have recommended in the PC builds.gg link will probably have their own built-in GPU sag bracket. But this 5070 Ti here, so lightweight, doesn't need one. But finally, with that screwed in, the last thing we got to do, plug in the power for our graphics card, which is going to be this remaining 4-volt power cable. And then go away, definitely give it a firm press, click, make sure that is all the way in there. Oh, but wait, we're not done yet. Don't forget, we need to plug in our Wi-Fi antennas. Probably going to want to do that, so don't forget, this is from your motherboard box. Here's the connector. This is just going to go in where it says Wi-Fi 7. Should just be one click there, another click there. Put this thing on top, and while she looks a little bit rough, I'm going to spend some time cleaning up all these cables, making it look nice, and finishing up this workstation build, installing Windows on it, and while we do that, of course, see if it turns on. Okay, so let's go ahead and turn on this PC and see if it works. So first things first, let's go ahead and grab our power cable from the power supply box, plug one end into a wall outlet, and then the other end into the power supply, which at least in this case is interesting, because we're actually going to have to briefly, right now, unscrew this panel right here, take this thing off, and make sure that the switch here is from the 0 selected to the 1. Because remember, you're going to access your power supply from the bottom of the PC case in this secluded chamber, but you've got the actual power supply outlet here still in the back of the PC case. So I'm going to go ahead and plug this cable in all the way down here. Now that I've got that done, next step is to go ahead and plug in our display cable, which can be DisplayPort, HDMI, doesn't matter, into the graphics card. The super expensive graphics card that is going to do the graphics computing. You probably want to plug in your display cable into that. I don't know why you wouldn't. I don't know why you put it in the motherboard. Your motherboard isn't doing anything graphics-wise. So we're going to go ahead and plug in this cable into here, where our graphics card is, and then the other end into your monitor, as well as the monitor power cable. Don't forget that power cable, the monitor doesn't turn on, probably why. Forgot your power cable. And then don't forget your keyboard and your mouse. And finally, now it's time to repair a Windows bootable media device. So go ahead and spend 10 or 15 minutes on another PC creating one of these. It's free. I've got a full video tutorial linked in the description down below showing you how to create one of these step by step. It should be fairly straightforward. But once you've got this completed, plug this into any USB 3.0 port in the back of your motherboard here. And with all of that said and done, I'm going to press the power button and see if this beast is going to turn on. Okay, so I'm learning this with you guys as well. This is a Threadripper system, and I'm letting you know right now, the first boot process, so waiting for this to actually initialize and voice turn up, takes a lot install Windows. Okay, so here, go ahead and choose our language. We need to install Windows 11. Check off that box. Here's where you can enter in your product key if you have one. I don't, so I'm going to go ahead and click I don't have a product key. Now you can go ahead and choose your version of Windows. I think for a workstation PC, you might be in the select few who would actually want Windows 11 Pro, possibly for RAM-related reasons. So let's hit next. Accept. Now here we've got our two separate drives. So here right now we're only recognizing one SSD. This is for boot drive SSD. The rest is PCI Express slots for our 5.0 M.2 SSD. You can see there's its 1 terabyte size. I'm going to go ahead and click Create Partition. That way we can install Windows. Cool. We should just be able to hit Next, let the PC do its thing, and I'll catch up with you guys later. Okay, so once you've let the PC reboot and do its thing a few times, go ahead and select your country. Go ahead and change your keyboard layouts. And here's when I go ahead and connect to your internet. Now there's a few ways you can go about this. If you have an Ethernet cable, you can go ahead and plug that into the back of the PC and then straight into your router. And yes, you do have onboard Wi-Fi with this motherboard. It just doesn't have drivers yet, which you could preemptively install. This will actually grant you access to File Explorer, and there you can go ahead and install Wi-Fi drivers if you want to do that. I haven't had much success with that, so you can either, plug in a spare USB Wi-Fi adapter like what I got here, or you can press Shift F10 on your keyboard. You can type in start space ms-cxh:local only, enter, and here you can go ahead and put whatever you want. And I will say this is what will let you set up a Windows account without actually physically connecting it to a Microsoft account, which you will have to do inevitably if you want to access the full suite of features from Windows. But this is just to bypass that Wi-Fi thing. That way we can install Wi-Fi drivers once we reach the Windows desktop by just using a USB Wi-Fi stick with the Wi-Fi drivers already on it. Which, before we get to there, I'm going to go ahead and select No for all these privacy settings. So I got a bare bones Windows experience. Okay, so once we've reached the desktop, we need to go ahead and download the drivers and utilities for everything in our PC. But before we do that, we need an internet connection. So let's go ahead and address those Wi-Fi drivers. So on a separate PC using another flash drive, go ahead and type in the name of your motherboard, which for us is the WSTRX50 Sage Wi-Fi. Then to go ahead and download those Wi-Fi drivers, or really everything we need actually for this PC, we'll go ahead and click on Support, Driver, and Tools, Windows 11. And we've actually got a few useful things here. We can go ahead and download the wireless internet drivers. We can download the chipset drivers for our motherboard. We can also download the audio and the Bluetooth. However, if you have this option here that pops up as soon as you connect to the internet, that'll just let you download Armory Crate. This is a useful way, as you can see right here, of just managing all the different
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you take my block to my charger?
Hmm?
Did you take the block to my charger?
Oh, yeah, I did borrow that. I was trying to test something. Alright, turn it off. It's right here.
Can you tell me before you take my stuff?
More here. Can you tell me if you take my stuff, please? You weren't here, so calm down.
things that come with your motherboard and your PC. So if you haven't downloaded Armory Crate, I'd also go ahead and do that, but I'll do that right here. But otherwise, that's where you can find the wireless drivers, extract them to a USB drive, plug it into this PC, go ahead and run it, and then you'll have access to your internet. But otherwise, I've got this option right here, so I'm gonna go ahead and freeze. But I'm gonna go ahead and show you how I'm gonna do it just entirely through Armory Crate, which is the simplest way. So if you wanted, you could just download the Wi-Fi drivers, connect to the internet, and then just do it like this. Alright, so I let Armory Crate initially run, and it restarted the PC, but here is our motherboard. I went ahead and clicked on Devices, clicked on the motherboard, and it looks like we need to check for updates. And here it shows us different things we can update, although I'm disappointed to find out that
Use Whipper Sweeper Deluxe wraps hair and locks it away.
is up, guys? Welcome back to another Geek video. In today's video, I'm super excited to be building a stunning all-white theme. That's going to be amazing for 1440p and 4K gaming. A build assembled inside of a brand new case from APNX that looks to do things a little differently, and one that's going to provide some great performance at a price point that hopefully won't break the bank. Let's
Been working as a junior executive since he graduated college. Now I guess he's selling out our family to A.
Explaining the choices, giving some alternative recommendations, and putting the build together. But first, I want to take a look at the APNX D2, a brand new chassis that I first checked out at Computex earlier this year. And here it is. Now, it's not a particularly small thing, but I've also seen larger cases too. And this is APNX's second case, following on from their V1, and this thing looks to me a little bit more interesting. So here we are. You can see they've gone full fish tank on this thing. We've got a glass panel at the top, a glass panel on the side, and a glass panel on the front, with this cool angled piece here, which actually supports and connects those three glass panels together. Now, inside the case, we've got your, I was going to say standard dual chamber design, but that actually wouldn't be strictly true. And the reason for that is that the dual chamber doesn't go the full width of the case. Instead, the motherboard tray is sort of offset from the front, behind giving room for the power supply, any drives and cable management. And then around the side and the top of the case, we have open air intake for fans. The idea here is to try and offset one of the biggest problems with dual chamber cases, which is lack of airflow through this front glass panel. Now, we also get 3 included fans at the bottom here. I believe these are all RGB. These are all in intakes. They're going to pull air into the case. The only thing I need to try and figure out is what orientation my other fans are going to be in today. Presumably, we're going to go for additional intake here and then maybe exhaust at the top and exhaust at the back. By default, you get a 140mm ARGB fan at the rear, but you can actually take this out and swap it instead for 200. Case is basically just a big cheese grater, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's fully toolless too, and here you can see not only the built-in ARGB fan hub, that's a really nice touch, with actually I think 2 static connections, but also how the design works. So again, these fans here, the motherboard tray. Now there is some overlap between where the fans mount and where the motherboard tray is, so we'll need to see what impact that has on airflow. And I'm also keen to check out how easy it's going to be to get an all-in-one liquid cooler into this case. A couple of cool other features too. We've got an integrated GPU support bracket, which you can actually adjust and angle in various different ways. That's a nice touch. And we do have reverse connect motherboard support, and I've not seen a brand before actually put covers on them. I think that's basically these toolers. I think so. To make the case look a little bit better and a little bit less holy. Is that the word? Not holy as in like church, holy as in like got holes. Yeah. There's the case. What about the other components? Well, what better way to take a look at these than to start putting this system together? Now, I'm going to begin by installing as many parts as possible onto the motherboard. Now, specifically, I've gone for this, the MSI V850 HDI Wi-Fi. You can see it fits with the white aesthetic I'm looking for in today's system. You have no idea how far these people will go to take what they desire. Most obvious. Obviously, some of my corruption has fallen in the way of Ulysses' glow. It sticks with the more affordable vibranium that keeps the heart of Wakanda beating. And that corruption is spreading. You get MSI's nice only one lane now stands in its way. With plenty of VR. If we take a spin round to the rear I/O motherboard, it is more trimmed down compared to its X870 counterparts, but offers up more than the standard V850 board when it comes to USB ports, high-end connectivity, 5GB Ethernet, Wi-Fi 7. You guys get the picture. Now onto the motherboard, I'm going to be installing a slightly interesting and maybe weird-looking CPU chip. I've gone for the last generation. Okay, you want for brand new case, a brand new chipset motherboard? Why? Honestly, this is a CPU you should not overlook. I've been talking about this in loads of my TikToks and YouTube shorts recently. It basically gives you 9800X 3D performance minus 10 or 15% at a price that is often cheaper than some of the other Ryzen current gen CPUs. It's going to give you better gaming performance by a long way than the likes of a 96 or 9700X from the current generation, and obviously gives us a bit of cost save. You really don't need the 9800X 3D unless you're going for a 5080, 5090, and while it's nice to have, this is a great way of keeping the build on budget while not sacrificing performance. Now I'm sure many of you guys have seen me install a CPU over times, but if you haven't, here we go again. I'm going to go ahead and just lift up the arm on our CPU
socket, a little something like so, pull off the cover, and then drop the rising chip into place. The little triangle is going to line up in this bottom corner. Keep the black plastic safe. I'm a sucker for digital memory. I think it looks so good. The only complaint I have, and it's kind of the same with motherboard, I'd love them to ditch the black accent strip. I just don't really know why we need it. Not for all white builds, but again, I think it's going to look really rather nice. And it's a bit more, how do I say, visually interesting than what you'll find on RGB Pro. So just line up around there, line up the notch, pull back the clips, and slide the tune in. Second, next up is the M.2 drive, and this is an area where I have gone maybe a little bit cheaper than I needed to, but again, if this is a game build, that's all you're really bothered about. Team Group's MP44L is going to be more than fast enough. You can see we reviewed this drive over on our website, geekwall.com, which I'll link in the cards now, and we're really, really impressed with it. Now, in terms of which slot I'm going to install it into, it's going to be the top slot, and it's toolless. All you do is just push this little notch on the end, nicely done, slide the SSD into place, and just push it over that little clip. I'm then going to go ahead and return the heatsink on, like so, and if you just push it down, it clips in, and that really is all there is to it. You can even lift the motherboard up once it's completely in, just to check that we're all good. Now, in terms of the other prep we can do at this stage, I think I'm going to check out the CPU cooler, because it might be that we can actually do some prep with this mounting hardware here. It might also be that we can't, but it doesn't hurt to check. Now, sticking with the white theme on today's build, I actually wanted to give this a go, MSI's Core Liquid P13. The case choice is super clean, like it's really clean lines, it's really kind of minimalist in many respects, and this MSI cooler has something pretty interesting on that I think will help the build tie together nicely, which is this cover over the mounting hardware. Let's open up the box, and inside, yeah, we're going to find a few things. We're going to find primarily the cooler itself. Now, you can see here, MSI's P13 actually has these really nice braided-y sleeved tubes. That's pretty clever. And then inside, we also have our fans and our cables. Now, these cables look surprisingly messy. There we go. But the good news is that we actually don't have any visible cables from the pump itself. That's because they actually go through the rubber ends of these tubes, which feel pretty satisfying, and actually then come out. And that's why there's so many cables on the radiator. Now, the only thing I may do is I may swap these fans out, potentially for some matching APNX fans. But let's see how we get on and see what we think. The real reason I've got the cooler out, though, is I want to check the mounting hardware. For that, I'm going to need to consult the manual. Where's the manual? I've got 2 health and safety booklets and 2 shout-out review cards. But no manual. Ah, yes, there we go. User manual. You've got to scan a QR code, which I actually don't love, if I'm being honest. Right. Scan. Scan. Do you need more help? Yes. Register now for technical support. Oh, do you click it? Not to create an account. It's time for the return of... You guys know what's coming. MSI, if you're gonna do this like saving the planet business by getting rid of the manual, then maybe don't give me 4 bits of paper that I don't need. And MSI, if you're gonna do this like saving the planet business by getting rid of the manual, then maybe don't give me 4 bits of paper that I don't need, and instead make it so that when I scan the bloody QR code, I get the manual, not some like... Now, maybe, is this not out yet? Is that maybe what the... Is this because it's support? Yes, I need support. I don't want to register. Driving and downloads. No. Manual and document. Manual. Maybe this is a pre-release QR code and they just haven't, like, QR'd the QR code, but that was annoying. The good news is we need to remove the stock mounting hardware and then in its place add this AMD hardware instead that's MSI specific. These 2 steps and then the cooler goes on. Probably didn't need the manual for that, but you know. The next step now that I've completed a little bit of prep for the cooler is to pop the motherboard into the case. Now taking a look and all the standoffs are in the right locations. APNX have got some good stuff right here. The center standoff is raised, as is the top center standoff too. There is some tape here which I'm going to definitely need to pull off. More than likely just to protect the case.
Still, there will be at a disadvantage.
Into place.
He will lead me to his friends, then to their
So,
leader.
the motherboard installation screws are also really handily labelled. Something which you can't take for granted and does make life a bit easier. So 3 screws at the top, 3 along the middle, 3 at the bottom. Okay. Let's do the power supply first, which is this MSI A850L GL75. I actually didn't want to use an MSI unit for power supply. I thought I'd mix it up a little bit, and then I went on MSI, thankfully, I don't think it's required on this occasion. And I'm going to go ahead and plug into the power supply a motherboard power connector. So we've got one just up here at the top, and the other half as well. Two halves on the power supply side. We've got the PCI Generation 5 power connector, so that goes not quite at the top, but not a million miles away. And then to round off the CPU power cable, and we've got SATA power, so the AI integrated power that is. The power supply slides into the top of the case, which is nice and simple, and just lines up with the screw holes at the back. That's the wrong way. We need the fan, of course, pulling air in from the rear of the case. Don't get that wrong. Then go ahead with those four screws just there. Again, these come in a nice back. That's going to wire up is the motherboard power cable. So good first test in this case is to take on a boot. Then you're going to return the top panel into place, which is just in the little bracket, and then okay, that's pretty good. I quite like that design. No, hang on a minute. No, I'm not going to put it back on. I'm going to put the radiator in first, actually. And this is now time to try and figure this situation out. So I'm not building a case without the radiator quite like this before. Now, as mentioned, I am going to swap the fans out. First, I need to decide on a location for the rack. I'm thinking maybe the top of the case. Okay, it fits. And it looks a bit different. But I think once the cables are finished, I like it. Yeah, I think this makes sense. The top panel does look the most feasible. But I'm going to swap these fans out for some which match the APNX theme better. These are standard APNX fans in a standard orientation. So we're going to exhaust through the radiator and out the back of the case. Houston, we have a problem, or you could call it a dilemma. Now, the two options are, we put the radiator on the side here and the tube run looks a bit better. However, it's less ideal and it means I need to change the fan to reverse it. Or, this, where we put the radiator at the top, which I think looks nicer, but our tubes
Princess Shuri?
She will receive the after-action report. I'm thinking we're going to go for this orientation, so leave it with me to screw that in, tighten the cables up. I'm also going to put the other intake back to the bottom
the shield around the city.
I
need to get that bust.
Okay, so we're making some progress. The only thing I'm not sure about is some cable management I need to try and do, which is a bit tricky. And then these are my reverse blade fans, which I've actually put it the wrong way around. So they will need to be integrated. I put the reverse blade fans.
You should have brought
cable stuff a little bit tidier, so that slides on like that. Stuff, and then put it up here. Yeah, the design still works well. The stump screw, which is a bit more of a challenge, I think.
Visa's fraud protection helps keep your purchases safe from scams. It's like there's a strong hand of Krishna McCaffrey. Payment protection for bad guys.
Get over the collapsed tunnel. No. Send your forces to the shield. That is where Crow's men will be headed.
Scammed your last scam.
I know another way.
He's so
Burst me!
No one is more secure than Visa.
Corrupted vibranium has spread to this part of the jungle too.
How is it moving so quickly?
I do not know yet. It must be destroyed.
Take my watch off, get it in. On.
The spire is shielded within this state.
Yeah, I did it! Woo! Okie dokie. So that is in. It wasn't actually too difficult. And the next final step of the build today, before doing a little bit more management, needing things up here, is for you. And I have lost it. Here it is. I got this MSI RTX 5070 Ti in white. Now, I'm thinking the same thing. What about the 9070 XT? We featured a quite powerful design before, which looks also pretty good. I think this is a slightly nicer design. The 9070 XT's problem is price and availability. In order to find a white 9070 XT and the level availability is very difficult. The UK availability is much better. So in the UK, it's probably more a case of which brand you prefer as a model. In terms of performance, they're quite similar. You can see on screen now there are games where the 5070 Ti is worse. And games where it performs better. Again, the MSRP look vastly different. Real world pricing is actually fairly similar. Now this is completely box fresh, which means, and this doesn't get to happen very often, I get all of the peels. This is like
A ray you have not
Christmas
shared
presents.
with the Dora Milaje?
I am sharing it with you now. Somewhat begrudgingly.
That is one good-looking white GPU.
You
And
will
again, there
enjoy
are
this,
accents to black on
Ugly.
here, which will help to tie in the build today. Now, I'm going to line this up over the top slots, just see which of our PCI these
Okoye,
move in. And it's also
corrupted
important that
vibranium has spread to this part of the
bracket,
jungle too.
while handy,
How
is going
is
to be
it
the
moving
wrong
so
location.
quickly?
So I'm also going to go ahead and
I
shift
do
this
not
down.
know yet.
Also removing
It must be destroyed.
brackets, which I put away installation. And then making sure the PCI latch is unlocked. I'm going to go ahead and slide the graphics card into place. All lined up okay, bit of pressure. Good, finger in. Then going to return the lock switch in. You can tell it on the card out. This, that's working all good.
The spire is shielded within this state. I will have to wait for it to heat up.
Cable out for the GPU, and of course with the GPU support bracket. And there we have it. Something a little different. I am really excited to see what this thing looks like when it's oh, that's a noise, that's a noise. It looks good, but I think my cable management needs work. I'm seeing 50 seconds.
Time to open my shortcut. That never gets old.
I will admit it. That was very nice.
It is not every day I earn praise from the leader of the Dora Milaje.
Really interesting, and it's a kind of design, layout, and setup that you're just not really used to seeing from other cases. What do you guys think? Now, in terms of performance, this build stacks up really, really well. And we tested here predominantly at 4K with a bit of 1440p and 1080p too. A summary of the results that we gathered can be found on your screen now, with virtually all of those numbers, as I say, at that top resolution, apart from Doom the Dark Ages, which we tested at 1440p, and Fortnite, which we always test at 1080p competitive settings. Now let's start off, shall we, with Call of Duty's Black Ops 6 Zombies. Now, this is a really interesting result for me, as at 4K high, you might expect the 5070 Ti to struggle. But oh no, we actually managed to exceed more than 140 frames per second on average. Not bad. And moving through into titles like F1
Does Princess
2025,
Shuri
again,
know
that
about
top
these
resolution,
She does.
more great
All
results.
potential
The
Black
4K
Panthers do.
ultra high preset
I
here,
have
the build
not seen
put in
this cave since I was
135
training with my
on
uncle.
average. It's not bad. And even in the
Like
likes of
stepping
Cyberpunk,
into
which
a
are a pretty
memory.
difficult game to run even by modern standards, again running at 4K high settings, still sees this build pulling over 100 FPS with 115 frames per second on average. Finally, also going to look at Doom the Dark Ages. This was a game we had to tune the resolution down a little bit from top end
Strange to
4K
walk this as the Black Panther. My uncle did his best to prepare me for midnight crawl. I hope I do not let him down.
Lovely white Pillamancha QD OLED monitor. Test this build out. This is a gorgeous panel that runs at that top 4K resolution and made for a really nice companion to this build in general. What do you guys think of the hardware that I used? What do you think of the colour scheme? What do you think of APNX's brand new V2 case? I've not actually seen a case do it quite like this, but do you like it? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and as always, we'll see you in the next one.
I wonder what Uncle would think about all this. It is clear Ulysses Claw fancies himself a technologist, a sonic cannon. Perhaps the one thing capable of taking down Wakanda shields. I have underestimated the lengths to which he will go to obtain vibranium.
That's always waiting. Just not for me.
I remember when they modernized the technology behind this tram. Uncle was vehement that it still looked the same as it did 1,000 years ago.
Ooh, what is that? I don't know what that is. Yeah, it's a little dust. It's not clean. Dude, this PC is gonna be pretty gross. Is that galaxy gas? Welcome, welcome. Dude, I'm not gonna... Let me flip this coin again. Sink. Right. So, the 90s sitcom family, like, they run in music. Did they do the turnaround? Like, yes, one take a couple steps forward. Alrighty, videos are back. It feels weird being in here. Like, hello. So we're gonna start with The Quarry, something that I really wanted to play, and actually I recorded even before the game came out. Can you believe that? I'm sure you probably already watched someone else play The Quarry by now, but this playthrough is special, alright? And that's because I played it with my bro, Dashi. Now, Dashi is such a bro. Like I said, we recorded this 3 months ago, but he said he didn't want to upload it until I came back. I know. You believe this guy? So to Dashi's community, to Dashi's audience, the reason why he hadn't uploaded it yet is because of me. It's not because of him. All the blame comes to me. Sorry about that. That being said, this series is going to be uploaded on both of our channels. Part 1 starts over here, Part 2 over there, Part 3 back over here, so on and so forth. There will be a playlist in the description. Hope you guys enjoy. Corey, you gonna cut this, or are we just gonna sit here? Okay. That's enough, man. That's... What the frick is wrong with you? I'm on check for up, down, 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 delete, up, down, down, up, down, 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 delete, up, down, 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 delete, up,
So
down.
these have been cutting holes in my cabin.
Hi.
Yo, what's up, bro?
There's this new game coming out, as you can see in front of your screen here. Yeah. If they do, it's on me. Yeah.
Constant waving.
This is a lot of people to... Yeah. So you're picking your character?
Goodness, brother.
So, that did take us 10 to 15 minutes to figure out.
How you doing, man? What's up?
We decided I was player 1, player 2. We shuffled some characters on both sides and then started the game. So player 2. Are we doing...
This room used to be for sparring with older perspective like Panthers. Sin to fight in this way. Claw and his minions must be stopped. Bashenga wanted every new Black Panther to remember why he received the title. the ancient symbols.
Career services really meets the student where they're at. We understand that we have such a fluid population, so whether you are entering newly into the career field, transitioning into a new profession, a military to civilian transitioner, or really just looking to upskill where you're at, we want to provide you with the tools and resources to be successful. Career services is an end-to-end support service, so we look at the student holistically, both what they're wanting to achieve academically and how that's going to support them in their future goals, both personally and professionally. That holistic support helps everything with assessment, so identifying where the student is, looking at transferable skills that helps them explore their career options and opportunities, really helps with the application and preparation stage, so everything from mock interviewing, salary negotiation, skill identification, transference, and then resume building, all the way to social media preferences. So is your LinkedIn built? Is it optimized? So really we're helping you with all of those tools and navigation points to help you with the success through the application and then the career obtaining phase.
10,000 years ago, the tribes of Wakanda were at war.
Oh, no, you turn it on. Yeah. Oh, this is copyright. Ooh. You hear that? I woke up in this. I woke up to. What? Remember, like, when you first heard the game? Oh, okay, it's on. So maybe it's not copyright. Okay. Actually, you know what? Let's turn it off and then start it again. See if the music changes, you know what I mean? Okay. Yeah, so it was right. We in here. Okay. Yeah. Are we rapping with you that now? No, because she about to come in and ruin it. Okay, that's true. I'm gonna carry your sing. Wait. Gameplay looks fantastic. Alright. Yeah, I think we're starting. Why'd you kill the music?
I think you know.
Right.
I don't think I do.
It begins with
The right one.
like the L word.
It's this one.
Lesbians. What?
Lost, matched, or lost.
We're just, we're in geographic flux.
Right,
This
so
one. And this one.
That's debatable.
And this one.
Now, male pride. Just
Start with
open up
that.
backwards. Yeah. Oh, no, it's in the 90s, right? Yeah, they have to print that joint out. Oh, yeah, they have to, like,
Consider the following, as it will guide you through the various twists and turns that may appear during your stay at Echo's core. What you see here are quick time events.
Oh, this is a tutorial.
You to act at just the right time. Watch your step.
Yeah.
Package forward can be a dangerous flight. Attention to your surroundings. Take your eye off the ball. Head to the small attack. But that isn't
Bashenga ain't a hot chick and boss blessed with the powers of the Black Panther.
So that's you. Circle up. Oh, that's
thank you.
Wait, that's
You're definitely getting worse out here.
Yes, it's all about the realistic summer camp experience.
Oh, great.
I'm through.
200 miles an hour.
The Avengers. What are outsiders doing in Wakandan airspace?
Do any less of a mix.
If Columbus hadn't got lost and landed on these golden shores, there would be no United States of
I
America.
will deal with the Avengers later.
Columbus exception.
I must take Claw Sonic Cannon offline.
What are you talking about?
Didn't even know he wasn't an agent.
Are you serious?
Just another guy. Didn't have a net. He's lost.
Well, just another guy who's got a whole name named after himself. But that's fine.
Okay, just get us to camp already before I roll my eyes out of my hat, please.
We'll make it up. Don't worry.
Okoye, Dora Milaje and the Avengers keep close men busy. Draw their attention away from the cliffside.
There won't be a problem. But if that shield comes down, they can help you.
Stop him! Yeah. He can't get to the cave!
I have it handled, sister. understand. We don't have much time before they're through the shield.
No, but seriously,
I
haven't
must
happened to
hurry.
the normal man.
This is the normal man.
The one on the phone.
No worse.
Of course not.
Cecil Weaver. Well, I guess they don't put summer camps on maps. Have you seen any signs for it? Hey, eyes on the road.
Guess Claw wasn't exaggerating. Hey, Panther boy.
Who is that?
I'm not sure.
Now introduce yourself.
Crossbones, action. You want this to hurt more? Or way more?
Are you always this well spoken?
No, darling. I pulled out all the stops with the kitty kid.
Strange choice for your last words, Crossbones.
No, Max, I'm so scared. You were a person.
This is hilarious.
You're shielding the cannon.
I don't know. I mean, it was really close, like really close, but...
Uh-oh. Doesn't look like you're getting through. Oh, I am enjoying this.
Scared. Get off the cart, Max.
What is it?
Let me give you a taste.
I really have this car.
Oh.
Well, maybe it looks worse than it is?
As you wish.
I know how to take a punch, cat king.
You know how to run from the headpiece.
Not going down that easy.
You are not what I'm after. Shooting. Look away. The cannon is down.
In fact, sometimes it's better not to.
Bro, why does it sound like Rod Serling? Like giving us these tips.
Maybe next
That's
time.
so Twilight Zone. Oh, that dude? Yeah.
Clear. Bring the Avengers to the palace.
He's not here. Oh. Like I was in the Twilight Zone just then. Knew where he at, dog?
Heads up.
Put your weapons down and your hands up.
We're here to see King T'Challa.
Good. Because he wants to see you.
I actually didn't have to press I think that was somewhere for psychology right there. If there was a timer there, I thought I had to act upon that. You know what I mean?
There you go.
Perfect, thank you.
The sooner we get out of here, the better.
Just picture yourself curling up in front of a big old fire pit singing campfire sing-alongs.
I don't think people curl up right in front of big old fire pits.
Why not?
They don't want to catch on fire.
Picture yourself curling up in front of a big old space heater.
Anywhere's better than here.
Alright, you saw something like, yeah. What did
You want it?
King T'Challa.
How long?
Princess Shuri, we didn't know AIM was following us. If we had...
Do you know why AIM has taken a sudden interest in my country?
Likely has something to do with us stealing a very powerful weapon of theirs.
Just over here.
And
Just
destroying another one.
stay there for a second, okay? I'm almost done.
If it is any comfort.
Fine.
We did not need advanced idea mechanics to our doorstep.
Compliant, my bad.
We've been spotting them like flies for weeks.
So you know about the corrupted vibranium.
Let me
What
try
it can do
and
to things.
stir the pot. It looks like I don't have a timer.
We are working on a treatment for those affected by it. And I'm narrowing down its source, but how do you know about it?
Hurry up!
Because we've seen it outside of Wakanda.
What's going on?
That's not
I'm
good.
worried that there's somebody down there.
Are you serious?
This means Ulysses' claw is doing more damage than we
It could be
anticipated.
I think we actually hit it.
I don't know. I heard
Game
something
operations
outside of
is
the
when the